We're now standing at the intersection of a token-powered blockchain future for the enterprise. Consensys, the world's broadest and deepest blockchain company, has been asked to share our unique perspective on how tokenization and enterprise blockchain are coming together. In fact, we've foreseen this and have been working hard to lead this significant transformation. Blockchain-backed tokens will open up new business models, disrupt global economics, and radically evolve how consumers interact with companies and how companies interact with one another. You're surrounded by tokens already in daily life, whether you know it or not. From paper money standing in for gold to driver's licenses that index into state-run registries. With Web 2, we've been on a journey to digitally transform our society for a number of years, and this includes tokens. For example, we currently buy and sell digitally configured stocks that represent ownership in a company. But Web 2 has many fundamental limitations, and one big one is that we are unable to transact in digital goods without third parties involved to affirm trust and execute those transactions. And so also, many entire categories of assets remain stubbornly illiquid and non-standardized. Enter Web 3, where we take digital assets and tokenization to the next level on the blockchain, where they're designed to be unique, liquid, secure, instantly transferable, and digitally scarce, therefore nearly impossible to counterfeit. Tokenization on Ethereum allows physical and digital assets to be represented by divisible, traceable, secure units of ownership. In this new paradigm, more investors, businesses, and consumers will be able to participate and take advantage of lower fees and reduced risks. Last year, we launched the world's most advanced enterprise blockchain platform with Kaledo, taking the complexity out of blockchain. This year, we're announcing a major evolution of that platform with new tools and services for Web3-ready business networks. Steve Cerveny, the co-founder of Kaledo, will tell you more. Thank you.
First session of the last day of the conference. I think I know who here from their organizations gets stuff done. So it's good to see everyone here this morning. And I'm really excited to be on stage to share Kaleido's perspective with you on what it's going to take to make the vision Joe was just talking about a reality. A lot has happened in the last 12 months. We see tokenization and enterprise blockchain are driving an undeniable transformation in our business networks.
On this very stage, exactly 1 year ago, Kaledo was born. The business world got its blockchain easy button, enabling you to go from concept to consortium faster than ever before. Decentralization is accelerating a dramatic shift in the world. Leading businesses are now collaborating in new ways, anchored in trust, rooted in transparency. A token-powered ecosystem economy is here, and trillions are on the line. Kaledo is the platform for these modern business networks. With blockchain at our core and all of the decentralized elements to up your game, we are full stack. We are a marketplace. We are borderless. Forge ahead with us, fellow pioneers and game changers, to the future of collaboration and trust, to the future of business networks, to a future without borders. Here, today, begin to unleash the true potential of your ecosystem. Kaledo, the blockchain business cloud.
The way the business world works has changed, giving rise to the new ecosystem economy, where $3 trillion in value will come from efficient and open business networks. The race is on to evolve your legacy business network. Last year, I shared a secret with you. Getting blockchain to work is hard. We promised that Kaledo would make it radically simple for the enterprise, and we delivered. Today, I want to share another secret with you. What you're really trying to do, modernize your business network, is much bigger. Blockchain is an essential ingredient, but it's not the only one. Your solution has many components to it, and the technology aspect is just one of the many challenges required to win the ecosystem economy race. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine trying to get 15 of the largest companies in the world together in a room to build a blockchain-based network. Companies from different parts of the industry, each with their own internal teams, where rolling out a new core system can take years. Yet now, for the first time, they're trying to do that together. How do these 15 companies collaborate on a shared network all the way through to production? Guess what? On Kaledo, we've seen in just 6 months a network of that same size, including a third of the top 20 banks in the world, and major corporates as well, do just that, working together. You'll hear more of their story later, along with others just as compelling. At Kaledo, we understand that enterprise blockchain's true purpose is to power the modern business network. With trillions on the line, it's time to change the conversation. We techies need to move beyond just talking about blockchain and start talking about the whole B2B challenge. And that's why I'd like to introduce the technology stack for the modern business network, a rich set of capabilities to tap into Web3. Let's start by taking a closer look at the data layer. Blockchain systems hold critical data both on-chain and off-chain. Off-chain storage is important for reasons like GDPR, data privacy, and so on. Kaledo users increasingly leverage built-in options like IPFS, the top deploying service from our marketplace. On-chain is the right place to store critical reference data and proofs. That's why we built Asset Registry and the address book services. Turn on the address book and it automatically stores entries for collaboration across the network. The transaction layer is the cornerstone, making possible the breakthroughs in transparency and trust. Here, Kaledo offers the most flexibility and choice with configurable security, consensus, and more. We also provide advanced privacy features that enterprises require. Announcing a new service called ETH Firewall. ETH Firewall adds policy enforcement at the blockchain layer. Govern which members can deploy smart contracts and nominate validators. Announcing Event Streams, a service to stream events from your blockchain to anywhere, such as analytics engines. You spend a quarter of your resources on a new project connecting to existing systems. Your collaboration platform needs robust connectivity to back-end systems. Until now, this means you need to slap duct tape on top of legacy B2B technologies not designed for the Web3 world. At Kaledo, we're making it simpler than this, announcing B2B services, including app-to-app messenger for communication amongst app instances in a consortium, encrypted end-to-end, and document store for integrated private off-chain storage. Coming soon, a new category in our marketplace, connectors, integrating to core systems like Salesforce, made easy on Kaledo. And at the end of the day, it's all about powerful and engaging apps. The new stack levels up your apps with powerful capabilities like tokenization and advanced cryptography. Announcing API Gateway with Swagger support and backed by Kafka for scalable delivery to the node. Announcing an ETH wallet service, a new type of wallet that plugs into cloud HSMs such as Azure Key Vault for hardware storage. And 3 new token services. The Ethereum blockchain is by far the best place for tokenization use cases. Kaledo now makes that easy for you. First, with Token Factory. Create your own ERC tokens. Second, the Token Explorer automatically catalogs the history, activity, and lineage of those tokens on your chain. And finally, the Atomic Swap service, an escrow-based contract that lets 2 parties perform a time-based swap with no intermediaries involved at all. Accelerate on Kaledo with the whole stack available plug and play on production-ready infrastructure. Take the heavy lifting out of your app and let Kaledo shoulder the load. A single API, security, operation, and tenancy model makes for a more reliable and cost-effective solution. Build better apps on Kaledo. We've got 10 times the number of APIs compared to other options out there. And doing DevOps across the consortium requires purpose-built tools. Only Kaledo is built for the new reality of shared IT. DevOps engineers, Kaledo now puts rich metrics in your hand, from the chain all the way down to the disk. Developers, Kaledo now takes your smart contracts and gives you back standard open APIs. No more need for thick clients and complicated GORP in your app. We're handling all of that complexity for you. On Kaledo, smart contracts become APIs that any developer can immediately use. We've added a new category in our marketplace for developer tools. Truffle is the #1 blockchain app development tool, and we're pleased to announce a new simple way to use Truffle with Kaledo. New resources for how to use MetaMask are available as well. At Kaledo, we're excited to see the innovation coming from so many different places within the ecosystem. That's why last year we launched the industry's first enterprise blockchain marketplace, now with dozens of entries, including technology from our partners as well. Kaledo is the only place to ride the wave of many blockchain innovators at once, all pre-integrated, plug and play. Updates to popular partner services are now available, including Chainlink, OpenLaw, and Quorum. Announcing a new partnership between Kaledo and Pegasus. Pantheon, their Java-based blockchain client, is now available in Kaledo, with support for both POA and IBFT. Coming soon, dedicated consortium offering isolated compute. I'm also pleased to say that we've completed work to obtain ISO 27000 compliance. And finally, announcing Kaledo Private Stack, the ability to run a self-managed remote node anywhere. Kaledo has partnered with AWS and Azure to be the only multi-cloud solution available on the market, but now we're raising the bar and taking it to the next level. With Kaledo Private Stack, you can stand up a node, and with Kaledo provided software, plug into the rest of the network. You manage the keys, you manage the data. So come join us, charting a course to the ecosystem economy on Kaledo. Accelerate and help our societies reach the full potential of Web 3.
Komgo has been built to solve an industry-age pain point, bringing additional efficiency and security in the commodities industry. It provides a network of trust using blockchain to digitize every product connected to the trade and finance industry.
A lot of banks and majors are now realizing that there is no other way but to get digital. I think Komgo is at the forefront of this change.
At Greenfence Consumer, brands are the center of the universe. And we are seeking different ways to change the way brands and consumers interact through blockchain-based promotions.
We're running very large campaigns for very big brands.
Sony, Fox, Heineken, T-Mobile, Kroger, and many others. Our programs have generated engagement rates of over 69% consistently. It's real, it's live, and it's here today.
We thought of how can we use blockchain and address an age-old legacy problem of financial inclusion.
To me, the main driver is that it fulfills our purpose as a banking institution, which is to elevate lives.
Challenges in connectivity, in remoteness, and even day-to-day living. Connecting them is really just the first step. It's now the other value-added services you can build on top of that connectivity. The realm of possibility thereafter is just tremendous.
Souleima, first komgo, doing amazing things. What's next?
Thank you,
Steve. So, do you hear me? So komgo was incorporated last year, backed by the trade and commodity finance industry. As you all know, it's a very much paper-based and inefficient industry that has decided to move to the next step and that decided to collaborate to make this happen, which is very new. As every digital journey, we started by POCs, and we decided to move to production at a quite early stage of our journey. And thanks to the capabilities of Consensys and Kaledo, this production stage happened only 6 months after we started working on it. So this was incredibly fast, and now komgo is a live blockchain network that can be used, that is used by the trading houses, the banks financing the commodity industry. On this network, you can exchange any kind of data and document on a safe, secure, and efficient way. It is a completely decentralized network. Privacy by design is key in what we want to achieve here. And it will help tremendously this industry act in a much more efficient and secure way. So what's next for this year? We're shipping to production all the products, the financing products you need to execute trade and commodity finance. Our 1.0 release will happen end of the year. And then we will build the next generation of trade and commodity finance products together.
Very cool. We're excited to see that. And Jonas, co-founder of Green Fence Consumer, what's next for you guys? Really exciting work you're doing.
We at Green Fence Consumer are kind of reimagining the way brands and shoppers change the way loyalty, rewards, and whatnot work, and we're doing it on the blockchain. The real goal here is to bring blockchain to the masses. The current core problem right now for the average consumer is if the technology is too difficult, they're just not going to be able to engage. And so with the help of Kaledo, we were able to create a infrastructure for not just the shoppers, but our customers, like the major brands in entertainment, CPG companies, that could run on a private node and can basically protect their IP experience. And from that, we seamlessly bridge this to the public chain. So if it's collectibles or coupons and rebates or whatnot, everything is protected and secured. So we're also announcing, by the way, something called the GFT Alliance, and it's an alliance between stakeholders in the entertainment space and the CPG space. So thank you, Kaledo, for that.
Great. And last but not least, Justo, chairman of Union Bank. It's great to be on the stage again with you. What's going on with Eye to Eye and what's ahead?
Thank you. Good morning. Last year on this stage, we announced Project Eye to Eye, which is a collaboration among Union Bank of the Philippines, Consensys, Kaledo, and 480 rural banks with about 2,800 branches. Last month, our regulator, the central bank, approved full commercial launch. So we're now live and we're scaling up. 11 rural banks are onboarded and 158 are in the pipeline. And clearly, the Kaledo has made a big difference in terms of quickening the onboarding of these different rural banks. The central bank also approved last month a Union Bank backed token, which will transfer value in this Eye-to-Eye network, and also any other networks that we would develop in the future. Supplementary to this, we're working on a cross-border remittance between the Singapore and Philippine corridor with Adhara and the Monetary Authority of Singapore. And finally, as we were going through this journey, we found out that many rural banks are very manual and very uncompetitive. And so we decided to basically build a lightweight core banking service in a box. And this will now help enable these rural banks to basically create a financial network where each rural bank will in effect have 2,000 branches to fulfill their promise of actually creating inclusive prosperity in the communities that they serve. So finally, for us, when you consider that the cost of a remittance today is 1 week worth of food in the table, clearly this is going to be a game changer, something that will make a difference, something that will elevate lives. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for coming. So, awesome stuff. What I'd love to hear from each of you is maybe a little bit of a checkup and sort of the state of enterprise, state of blockchain for the enterprise now. What's working? You know, what's working better than it did a year ago? What problems have been solved? And what could be better? What do you still need to solve?
Well, for us, as we're building this this network of a financial network, identity becomes a very crucial point that we need to achieve. And we're actually working on a federated ID system, digital ID system, so that these 480 rural banks who are not legally connected to each other can actually operate that 2,000 branch network. And that becomes a challenge going forward, but I think it's solvable.
Yeah, so I come from Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema and the Hollywood world, and we kind of know the future because we've lived the past, and we've watched Hollywood just get blown up, starting with Napster, destroying the music business, and then on to, I use this quote all the time, if you ask any kid today what a movie's worth, they always say, oh, it's about $9 a month. And that's what has happened to Hollywood. So what blockchain is going to do for Hollywood is going to allow them for the first time to get ahead of the tech curve. And it's the most important way to protect their IP. And I think that with what we're doing with Kaledo on doing these kind of private networks, running private nodes for the studios, it allows them to protect not only the IP, but generate revenue beyond that first sale, and for the first time, really control the tech flow and revenue, new revenue moving forward. So,
do you have any metrics about how much it's increased?
Certain things I can say and not say, but we have worked with Sony, we've worked with Marvel and Fox. We're working with different brands. And it's interesting, when the CPG companies come in, they're usually bringing in their partnerships, if it's a boxer or a soccer player or whatnot. What we are able to accomplish is an engagement rate of over 65% of our users are coming in and making it basically a one-click model. And where I think blockchain will stumble is if you try to get everybody, your average consumer, to start learning things like mnemonic phrases and downloading too many apps and all that other stuff. If we can make it simple, one click, then the IP holders win, and of course the consumers win at that point.
Yeah. Souleima, what's working for you?
I think that the great achievement is the fact that it is live today, and it is a live network, a live blockchain-based network. Everybody was dreaming about it. So now the biggest challenge, obviously we have a tech roadmap, we have improvements to bring to it, but the biggest challenge is on the business side. How do you start working differently in an industry that has been operating with paper over and over the past decades? So I don't think it's a tech problem anymore. Now it's how do those enterprises adopt the system they wanted to see, decentralized, completely private, more efficient. You can issue a letter of credit way faster than before. The data is already paired, matched. It's so powerful. But changing the way people operate, that's another story. And I think in our case, it's the biggest challenge we are working on today.
Yeah, is there anything that you could point to that you think could help with that?
A lot of support from all the stakeholders. And a lot of focus. Those enterprises are huge, and we have to connect with their existing systems. Legacy system is a big challenge too. So it's a lot of spending time on it, and just helping the users move to the next stage.
Yeah. Steve, do you have any kind of moving stories of maybe some of the Kaledo customers and how they've implemented this to great effect?
Yeah, well, I think it's a privilege to work with companies like this on a regular basis, and it's really inspiring for the Kaledo team to be able to do that. I guess two things as we kind of look across all of these organizations that we do partner with. One is just understanding that the problem is well beyond blockchain, and that's why we're talking about full stack. You hear it from identity management to bridging to the mainnet to scaling and bringing on large corporate members, really thinking about the whole problem. But the second thing is then the topic of this session, tokenization. And I think really now what's one of the biggest differences for me between this year and last year is really there's this a broad perception in the enterprise world that tokens aren't just cryptocurrencies. They're really now digital assets. And therefore, in every use case, in every B2B use case, you're collaborating about some asset. And so they really become the key to empower these networks to evolve more quickly.
Yeah. Jonas, I'd love to hear a little bit from you. I mean, part of what I've heard from companies is they're just simply not comfortable with the concept of decentralization. They're used to being centralized and bureaucracy and all of that. How are they wrapping their head around this and getting used to that concept?
It's horrible. No, when we go in to pitch, if it's Coke or Pepsi or whomever, and by the way, we're creating a platform with Kaledo, so they're going to be, and they're starting to onboard into our ecosystem, the ones that get it. And so what we say is, please don't look at blockchain, the technology, and let it scare you. We often use this. We say this: if you're at a website and you click on a link and it goes to the next page, do you actually care how that happened? No. I said, great, then don't even worry about blockchain. And so what we're kind of doing now is removing even the word blockchain from our pitch. So oftentimes when our customers, our shoppers, are engaging in a crypto collectible, they don't really know that they've got one or not. But as time has moved on, we're noticing, oh, wait a minute, there's a value here. Oh, wait a minute, I can potentially trade this, or maybe even sell it for that matter. So it's baby steps. It's crawl, then walk, and then run. And that's where Hollywood typically just crawled through technology, and now they're perking up and going, okay, we might be able to control this one, which is very important.
What about you? Are you bumping up to any challenges that come with decentralization as you implement this?
Yeah, well, we're a mainstream regulated bank, so clearly that's a big issue for us. And the way we've handled it is working very closely with the regulator and being aligned in terms of specific value propositions, like the one I discussed, which is inclusive prosperity, financial inclusion, which are also their policy mandates. So that makes them more open to the possibilities of solutions that actually make it happen, because many solutions in the past have really gone to waste. But the way we do it in the organization, because we also need to sell it to our own stakeholders, our board, our stockholders, this journey into this digital journey, of which blockchain obviously is a major piece, is to do it, as was mentioned, in baby steps. Right? So we start with things that are not critical to the organization. Like the very first project we did was to put all our circulars, both internal and external, into the blockchain to establish provenance, and so that they were updated and we knew which one. So that's a very simple project. We put our loyalty points of our credit card, for example, on the blockchain. So we started with very small projects that we even put up a Bitcoin ATM machine in one of our branches, and we had a choice to pay in euro or Bitcoin for the ATM machine. And we said we'd pay for it in Bitcoin. So that caused a whole ruckus with the controller, how to account for it. We had to talk to the accounting council, how to maintain a Bitcoin account, and so forth and so on. But it's not game changing, it's not mission critical to the institution. So for us, that's what we need to do. And I share the views that when you're dealing with your customers, a lot of it is taking away the complexity, or we call Kaledo, actually, we have our own name, we call it Bob. blockchain on a box. So that way, people don't get too overexcited about what's behind, as long as the front end is something that they're familiar with. So like in my opening remarks, we need to work also at teching up our customers in order for us to have a full benefit within an ecosystem of this technology.
Were you able to pay with Bitcoin for the ATM machine in the
Yes,
end?
of course. And we still have a Bitcoin account in the bank, open.
All right, well, I'm sorry to say that's all the time we have this morning, but great discussion, and thanks for coming.
Okay.